5 years. That's how long it's been since I started my channel. Can you believe it? And it seems as though so much has changed since I first pressed record. When I first started my channel, you remember I was living at home with my family and I was sick and we had no idea why. And then I took you along the journey to find out that I had gastroparesis that was caused by Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I documented the whole journey. From living with illness to finally chasing that music career I've always dreamt of early last year. And let's not forget the fact that I moved 6 hours away from the life that I had always known. And this is where we are now, but I'm still working it out, so come along with me. Hey lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amity Gilmour. If you're new here, hello. I post videos all about pursuing my dreams of becoming a professional singer while struggling with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Gosh, that was a mouthful. I really need to figure out a better intro. So I have some explaining to do because, as you know, I have not been posting vlogs consistently until maybe the last week or so. And a lot of you are probably thinking, what the heck is going on? Because it hasn't been very consistent for maybe half a year now. And I thought I'd sit down with you guys and talk about all the reasons why I'm deciding to share less. But first, it is so hot today and I'm just gonna go quickly grab a milkshake so we can go sit down together and talk. Let's go. All right. That is a good chocolate malt milkshake. I got it from an Italian place because the cafe that I usually go to is shut because it's a Sunday. I miss malt. All right, let's put that aside. I'm also gonna put my fitting tube aside as well because it just doesn't complete the look. So as I said, a lot of people probably have been realizing that I had stopped posting. And I had a lot of people asking, when are you gonna vlog again? Why aren't you vlogging as much? And so I decided that I'm going to address what's actually happening and what's going through my head and what I'm planning to do about it. There is a whole number of different factors that have gone into why I haven't been vlogging. I'm gonna go through each and every one of them with you, and then I'm gonna tell you where I'm going for the future of all this because I'm trying to still figure it out. First off, the one thing that I guess a lot of you guys probably already know is my health is not good. It is pretty crap. So vlogging is just an added, I guess, chore that is a bit of a struggle to do when you just want to lay in bed, and you can't really vlog when you're laying in bed because there's really nothing to vlog. I also particularly don't like when vlogs are just talk heavy, or at least I didn't before, because I thought that I needed to take you on a journey, like around, run errands, take the camera with me because that's what I'm used to doing with the camera. But that just isn't what my life looks like at the moment, and that is why I haven't felt comfortable to vlog, because that's one of the reasons, because there's really not much to vlog other than hospital, bed, hospital again, bed. And I will get into the whole hospital thing and why I haven't been vlogging that. But first, a second reason I haven't been vlogging is burnout. I burnt out. And the reason I burnt out was because last year I was really sick, but I did so much. I am still like, how did I do all that? While also traveling everywhere, nearly every weekend I had a gig somewhere. And I loved it so much, but with the vlogging and everything, and vlogging becoming more of a chore, because when I was up and about everywhere, a lot of my energy was focused on just making sure I could make it through that performance, get to the place, get the rest I need, and then go up and perform and then go back and rest sort of thing. So I felt there wasn't much to vlog as well, because although I did vlog a lot of the stuff when I was going out and about on all these different journeys, it was a bit of an added toll to vlog that and then come home wanting to rest and still feeling like I had to vlog for another week while I was resting at home. And so I was forcing myself to get out, do something, just not sustainable, not healthy in the long run. And this isn't the only thing that I burnt myself out with. My business took off like crazy, and so that tended to make things difficult, and I did start to burn out there as well. I love my business, and if you want to follow my business, there's a link to my channel up there. But I have now put things in place so I'm able to just not work overtime, but also work enough that like the business functions, but not overwork that it's like, oh my gosh, now I can't even do anything for a month and there goes my pay. Now, as I said, there has been things happening like going to hospital quite a bit and appointments and a lot of them. And I haven't vlogged this, and there are a few reasons why. First reason is my health, and everything that's been going on with my health has been very stressful, and it's also taken a lot of emotional strength in order to process everything that's going on. There are certain things that are happening with my health that are a lot more, I guess, drastic. And so that has been difficult to process mentally and emotionally. And then to be able to grab my camera and film it as I'm processing it, it's just another added stress, another added emotional toll, and I just cannot do it at the moment. I don't have the emotional capacity to be able to share that in real time. But then there is also another reason I haven't been sharing a lot of my medical stuff. Obviously, I'm open about my medical stuff and I will share it, but I've been sharing less of it. And the reason being, so how do I say this? I'm suspicious, along with a lot of other people that I've talked to who also have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. We are suspicious of a possible rise in Munchausen because there seems to be a lot of people who are showing up on YouTube, TikTok, all that. They seem to be, I guess, glamorizing something that isn't glamorous, particularly also when people start glamorizing TPN. That is a very big issue because TPN is something you do not want to go down that path, and it does tend to be something that people have started to glamorize. Also, on top of that, there are people who their story, I haven't been like fully into looking at, but my other friends with EDS have been able to pull apart, like look at all their videos and be like, something's not adding up here. There's particularly someone in my city, or who was in my city, who is quite predominant on TikTok, who also things are not adding up. And doctors are actually realizing that this is the case. And they're becoming a lot more sus of not just the people who you should be sus about, but people like myself and many other people who are also on this channel who actually have been struggling with this for so long. Or maybe you've just been diagnosed, but it's a real struggle and it sucks. It's so hard. And there are people who are online sharing all of it, which is okay. The reason I first started sharing what I was doing, well, I've told that story many times. You can watch it in another video. I've mentioned a number of times why I started sharing my illness on social media. But I've decided to take a step back from sharing because particularly of this rise of Munchausen, or suspected rise of Munchausen, and also there is an added issue with people self-diagnosing themselves with EDS. I was literally scrolling on TikTok the other day and there was this girl who, interestingly enough, it said she was from back like where I'm from, and she had said in her TikTok, oh, so I've just come to the realization that I have EDS. I'm not diagnosed, but I have it. And so what am I gonna do about that? Like, I need some suggestions in the comments of like medical things I need help with. And I instantly saw that and was like, wait a second, you say you have it, but you haven't been diagnosed, which I get. There's also that part where like diagnosis is hard to get, but also you can't just say you've got something. You can say you think you have something, but this girl was like, yeah, I have it. but I haven't been diagnosed. But yeah, got it. But it's like, you can't say that and you can't do that. And so anyone who says that or does that just rings major red flags to me. And then also other issues that I find when people see that they do like whole, I don't know if you can see that, the whole hypermobility tricks, and then they think, oh, okay, I can do that, so I've got EDS because I'm hypermobile. Or I'm hypermobile and sometimes I have issues with constipation, so I must have EDS and gastroparesis. It is so much more than that. Like, it's not just constipation. It is pretty severe. It can be pretty like difficult to live with. And then EDS is not a joint hypermobility disorder. It is and it isn't. It's a connective tissue disorder that can affect hypermobility and joint issues. Just because you're hypermobile does not mean you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and this is something that is very misunderstood. People think, oh, I'm hypermobile, so I probably have EDS, when there is a large proportion of the population who are hypermobile. That is just a thing. I did see someone talking about how there is a link between autism and ADHD and hypermobility, but like, hypermobility is not EDS. It's not. It's part of it. But if you are hypermobile alone, you most likely don't have EDS. I'm just gonna say that. And people are probably gonna judge, but from actually struggling with EDS, having multiple organs, doing the most stupidest stuff, and having complication after complication, it annoys me when people then think, oh, you have hypermobile joints, so I think I've got EDS too. But it's like, that's not the case. So I have decided to step back from sharing, I guess, too much about that. I still want to share parts of it, but I don't want to be like taking you along with me every single week being like, this is the complication I've had tonight and this is the complication I had this morning, and like, I feel like that just gets very old. Also, it seems like when I see that in other people who like vlog, it does tend to look a bit like an obsessive pattern or behavior when that's like the only thing that they share. There is nothing wrong with sharing about your illness, because I do that, and I have been able to be greatly encouraged by hearing people be encouraged by what I have to say. I think the problem is when that's the only thing you're sharing and you don't necessarily have anything else to share. It does seem a little off. And yes, there is a period of time you go through where you're first diagnosed where it's like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? And like, probably are thinking about it a lot more. But once it becomes everyday life, it's still tough, it's still hard, but it's not that obsessive thing of like this. So anyway, that's the reason I've like stepped back from like sharing about my medical issues, because I don't want to encourage or glamorize. I don't want to glamorize my illness. It is not glamorous. And also, I don't want to encourage then putting out content where people are seeing, oh my gosh, you're hypermobile, or this is a symptom you have, or that. I have that sometimes, I must have EDS. I do not want to like encourage that. So that's why I have stepped back. And I know that a lot of people on my channel who have EDS or gastroparesis or something will know that it is really difficult to live with, and it's also not just as simple as, oh, I'm flexible. Like, not how it works. It's not that simple. Anyway, moving on, I just want to say that in terms of this channel, I am still working it out. I'm still trying to figure out what I want for this channel, what I want to share. I want to share my journey at pursuing a career with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but I'm still figuring out how much to share about my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I am becoming of the belief that I shouldn't share it all the time, like, shouldn't be the main thing. And I don't think it is, but because of the state of social media at the moment, when it comes to chronic illness, I do want to step back a little bit more, because I just don't feel like I want to encourage that kind of I guess, obsessive behavior. So I'm still gonna share certain things, but I don't want to share like single detail all the time. I don't want to bring you along to every single hospital thing, and I don't. There are so many times I've gone to hospital and you guys have had no idea about it because I have not shared it, because like, who has the energy to bring the camera along every time you need to go to hospital, especially if it's a really bad hospital trip? If someone is like filming every single hospital trip you ever go to, that to me is like, how do you have the energy to do that in like a real emergency? And then also, what do I want to be known for? That's a big thing. I don't want to be known for that girl who has a fitting tube, or the girl who has EDS, or the girl who's always in hospital. Like, that's a big part of my life, but that's not what I want to be known for. I want to be known for my music, and I want to be known as a girl who can make beautiful art out of pain. And by art, I mean music, because music has always been so near and dear to my heart. It has been a massive part of who I am and how I process things, how I share things with the world, how I articulate certain things. And it's just something that I love. So I do want to share my music over everything else. As you guys probably know, as some of you know, before I created this channel, I already had a channel. It was a music channel, and it's still up and running, and you can go find it if you want. I won't link it because I don't use it anymore, but you can probably find it. It's not that difficult to find. I'm pretty sure it's like on my channel somewhere, like places. But this is the thing. Music is what I want to be known for, and I want to share my experiences through music rather than through, hey, come along with me while we go to the hospital every single hospital trip, and like having a major problem at the moment and the paramedics are here and I'm filming while the paramedics are here. Like, I've never done that, but like, funny because there are people who have, and it just makes me question, like, are you filming during like paramedics? Anyway, so I want to be known for my music and share my story through that. I think when you share your story through an art form, it's so beautiful and people can connect to it in different ways. I know people who share their stories through other art forms. I have friends who share it through art. I have friends who share it through makeup and like a whole bunch of different things. And I think it's something that is beautiful, and there's a lot to be said for it. So finally, I just want to end this video on saying I still want to encourage people to go for their dreams no matter what they're going through in life. I still want to encourage them that there is a way that they can pursue their dreams. It's just going to look very different. And I think I'm noticing now that it does look extremely different to what I had, I guess, first thought it would look like, because my first thought was like, you're gonna have to adapt a little bit, but I can still do it if I push myself. And now I'm realizing, oh crap, my health is not good at all. I'm really gonna have to adapt way more than I thought I first had to. And then that's just life anyway. We have to adapt, and unfortunately some of us have to adapt more than others. But I'm a big believer in adapting, and that, interestingly enough, is controversial these days, which I don't understand why it's controversial, because adapting is just, it's always been something that's been encouraging to see other people adapt so that you yourself can adapt and achieve what some people may think is impossible but isn't, because you put in the work, it was tough, you went through it, and despite all odds you're able to do something and make something out of what you love. And that's what I still stand for, as an Australian especially. I love the Aussie battler, and I am all for that. So anyway, I've talked on a lot, so I'm just going to stop there. But before I end this video, I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to know what you think and how you're feeling about me sharing less of my illness and more of my music. I want to hear what you have to say, because I always want to hear from my audience as well, to take things into account. I do want to share stuff about my health, but I don't want it to be the main focus, because I feel like that's not always healthy. But share your thoughts in the comments down below. I don't have a question of the day. I feel like I've just talked about a whole bunch of stuff that probably will have a lot of commentary to it that you might want to add to yourself. So I'd love to hear that. But as for now, I'm going to go rest. Still haven't decided whether I'm going to church tonight. I want to, but also not feeling 100%, so we'll see. But other than that, I love you guys and thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
I've been waiting on a miracle, but ain't it something cynical? I've been told the pain is on me, but what if pain is just a part of life and not as me because it's right? But yeah, go see, I just need the faith.